So you've started having your one-on-one conversations. How are they going? Are you finding it awkward? Are there any dead spots? Do you start going down, open up a can of worms and go down wormholes? And by the end of the session, you're like, what have we talked about? What are the actions that we need to go away and do? Now, if that's the case, I want to get you to start to think about changing your approach and thinking around coaching your team members and direct reports. Now, coaching is a really powerful tool and approach that you can do to maximize someone's potential. How do you do this? I've got a model behind me that I'll share with you in a minute, which is a really good structured framework to follow to keep you on track. Coaching's been around for years, and what coaching is working with a person from where they are, identifying the goals that they want to achieve, and putting a plan into place and then holding them accountable for that. You, as the coach, you don't need, or taking a coaching approach, you don't need to be a subject matter expert on them. You don't need to be a subject matter expert on their knowledge or expertise. The way that we approach coaching is by asking a lot of powerful questions to provoke insight and then commitment towards action. Now, the GROW model behind me, which is my number one go-to model, that was developed in the 1980s by Sir John Whitmore, and it's still so relevant today. Now, what does it stand for and how can we use this? So when we're looking at the one-on-one conversation, specifically in the first part, we can start working, okay, what are some of the goals? What are some of the barriers, the options? What's a couple of actions that we can consider leaving this meeting? Now, sometimes that just happens, sometimes it doesn't. But what we can do by following this framework, we can, each and every time when people leave your one-on-one conversation, they know exactly what they need to do. So what does it stand for? So the GROW model stands for, G stands for goal. So what is the goal that you want to achieve in the next week, the next 2 weeks, the next month, the next year? And overlay that with the SMART principles. So has your goal, is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it achievable, realistic, and then time bound? So I spend quite a lot of time within this goal phase just establishing what the goal actually is, because we need to dig a little bit deeper. More often than not, time management isn't the goal. It's actually working on effectiveness that is more of the goal. The R stands for reality. So what are you currently doing to get towards your goal, if anything? I find a lot of people are not actually doing anything at the moment that's contributing towards getting towards the goal. O, this is the option. So this is a time to really get creative and start mind mapping, brainstorming, putting all the options on a whiteboard. And then the W is around establishing the will, so the commitment, putting an action plan in place. So now we have developed a lot of options. It's around selecting those and prioritizing them for those individual actions for you to take that will get you closer towards your goal. And then what we can do is in the next one-on-one or the next coaching session, we can actually check up to go, hey, how did you get on with action number 1, number 2, number 3? And start checking those off, because it's the act of doing these little things, doing the little actions that will get you closer towards your goal. What are the benefits to yourself and the organization when we're looking for coaching? And this is a really common question. So there's an ICF, so that's International Coaching Federation study completed in 2009, believe it or not, that said those who received individual coaching, they had an 80% increase in self-confidence, a 75% increase in improving relationships, a 72% increase in their communication skills, their ability to communicate up, down, sideways, talking to a manager. And then finally, a 67% increase in satisfaction towards their work-life balance. What are the benefits to the organizations? So there was a 70% increase in workplace performance. That is crazy. 61% increase in business management, so managing the business. A 57% increase in time management effectiveness, so doing more of the right things rather than doing things right. And 51% increase in team effectiveness. So by slowing down to speed up, you're actually getting better results. What I'm finding now, especially with my clients, is we're working so much at pace And we're using that word, we're busy, busy, busy. But it's not until people step into a coaching session, they can stop, they can actually think through the decisions and the actions, the habits that they are demonstrating each and every day. Are those habits working with them to get them closer to their goal? A lot of times people don't know what their goal is. So it's about slowing down to speed up. Now, I've got a couple of tips to make coaching really work for you. The first time you coach, it will feel really awkward because normally what we're used to doing is talking, asking heaps of questions. So here are my 5 top tips. Number 1, ask one question at a time. Because what happens is if you ask one question, then 2, then 3, then 4, the person you coach is like, which one to answer first? And then you're actually filling all of that time with just more and more information. So that's why we need to ask one question at a time, because the silence is a really powerful tool for you. And 3 seconds will feel like 30 seconds and we'll be really uncomfortable with that. But that silence is time for your coachee, your team member, your direct report, whoever you're coaching, for them to think. And it's for them to strategize and to reflect. And one thing that I do know is if we don't have enough time, then we're not going to get the right answer, or they're not going to come to the right conclusion. So just be comfortable with silence. Number 3 is prepare, and that is prepare mentally and physically before you go into a session. So that's taking 5 minutes before just to prepare all your notes, maybe have a list of questions, clear your mind of all the chatter, turn all your distractions off. So you go into that session focused on that other person, and asking really great questions. The best part of coaching is when you ask a question, they're like, whoa, I've never thought about that before. And then you say nothing for them to start thinking. I've been sat there before for about 3 minutes while someone's still thinking. Very awkward for me, but it's not about me, it's about the other person. Here's a really good ratio, 70 to 30. So 70% of the time they should be talking and 30% of the time you should be talking. If the balance is the other way around, you're not coaching, you're telling. And then finally is, to get great results, you need to build rapport, right? Rapport takes time to build, and rapport is built on commonality, is built on trust. So you can reflect, paraphrase some of the words that people are using to gain rapport a lot quicker. Another bonus tip is, what I like to do is just say to the client, can I just paraphrase back to you what you said? And I'll more often than not, I'll use their own words back towards them, and they'll be like, oh, I didn't realize that was the case. I need to change my thinking. So, consider this in your next one-on-one conversation. It does take time and energy and effort. If you want a bookmark, I've got a list, got 101 powerful questions. If you want a template, then just email me, reply back to me, and I'll send that straight over to you. Have a great coaching session.